Hi, I'm Jasmine,
And I'm Andrea,
and we're Natural Be Ewe Yarns.
and this is the beginning of our 6th week for the Christmas in July knit-along.
Yes, and it's almost September now.
Yeah,
How time has flown.
it's crazy.
Speaking of which, we want to apologize for not doing a video last week, week 5. We were both feeling quite ill, actually.
Some sort of a summer flu or...
Yeah, I mean, fatigue and exhaustion was part of it. But
Right, and we weren't running fevers, but we felt feverish.
Hot and cold.
And yeah,
and
just really weird.
Upset stomach. So anyway, we weren't looking or feeling our best for the video, but we hope that you continued on without us.
Well, by that time I think that everybody kind of had a rhythm going, and that was going to be last week's talk, wasn't it?
It was going to be, about the rhythm.
And being mindful in your knitting.
And how it can be soothing, especially once you have the pattern established.
Because then, whether the pattern is rhythmic or you have to count a certain number of stitches all the time, that becomes repetitive and it makes you focus in. And the whole idea of being mindful is to leave the other things out.
You actually have this book called The Mindfulness in Knitting.
Yes, I haven't read it in a while.
It's Meditations on Craft and Calm by Rachel Matthews. If anyone is looking for something interesting to read, I recommend this. It says Rachel Matthews is the director of Cast Off Knitting Club and Prick Your Finger, a textile resourcing gallery that focuses on socially engaged projects. So there's a lot more. She has practiced mindfulness, meditation, and yoga for over 20 years. So she links her practice back into the craft itself. And I think we saw a lot of that during the pandemic. People realized
that they needed something to just chill out with.
Well,
and that's another way of describing mindfulness.
There was a lot of stress and anxiety, and there's been recorded, proven benefits for heart health, as well as other benefits to knitting and crochet. And so especially with the way things are going, everything being more expensive and difficult at the moment, mindfulness is a good thing to practice.
Yeah, and mindfulness actually involves all 5 senses. So you've got your taste, sight, smell, hearing, and what's the other one?
What did you do? Taste, sight, smell, hearing, and touch.
Right. So you're touching the wool, and you're the texture of your knitted item. You're focused and seeing your stitches and the colors. If you go with smell, it could be that you have a cup of tea with you that's nice and fragrant, or a scented candle, and perhaps you like to have a little bit of a candy or something, or maybe just the tea. And then all of your senses are engaged in your activity.
And mindfulness is a type of meditation, right? But it's not meant, like meditation, you always think you have to clear your mind entirely, but that's not really what meditation is. It's recognizing when you stray in your thoughts and what you're thinking about and bringing you back to the present, which is why mindfulness works, because you're engaging on focusing on the here and now, what you see, hear, touch, taste, etc.
And the more things that you can focus on in the present, the better.
Yeah. So I hope that knitting the Seaside Stole, or if you're working on the Born Trippy, or even Reprieve, what a wonderful name for a mindful project. I hope that you found a little bit of that, not just knitting in front of a TV or something, but I hope you found the joy in getting lost in the pattern a little bit. Ages ago, we created the Mindful Maker box. There are still a few left.
Yeah.
And it's 2 full skeins of lush baby alpaca. They're so soft to touch, fingering weight.
There's a pattern
called Journey,
which actually leads you through a form of meditation in itself, and the touch of the yarn, because it's so soft, then concentrating on the pattern itself and following some of the suggestions in the actual pattern. What else did we have in the box? There was a tea.
Yes. Which also came with a smudge stick and a mantra of its own to repeat while you're brewing it.
Right.
And then there was the
candle.
soy coconut-based candle, lime and patchouli, which was a divine scent. We've actually had people ask just to buy the candle.
Sorry.
Which, you know, we might
need to look at getting some candles.
Yeah, look into that. Yeah. But it also makes a great gift. I know we started the Christmas in July with the idea that you're starting your Christmas knitting with something, not a totally small project, but something that hopefully gets you in the mood to knit some more. And if you are looking for Christmas gift ideas, the Mindful Maker is a good one. But also, we still have a handful of our Merry Maritimes Advent calendars left. Sales will continue into September, but the cutoff is October 1st. So don't leave it too late if you're thinking about it, or if you want someone.
Are there like 4 or 5 left?
5 left.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it or you want someone to buy it for you, hint, hint, drop lots of hints.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
There are always people every year that are sorry they didn't order one, and at the last minute they're like, "Do you have any left?" Sorry.
Yeah. Hopefully, if that happens this year, we have one left for them. But I wouldn't leave it that long. It is a pre-ordered item.
Yeah.
And on that note, we were knitting to use some of our minis from the Advent, though I did create gradient sets for them. Yep. And
you used 50-gram skeins, so our mismatched sock sets work really well for that.
Yeah, I ended up using, I guess you could call it a mismatched sock set, and I have a couple here with some of our newest colors on Echo. Chowder, and that one's called Fruit Punch. I like the play of colors together in that. This one, ooh, I love this one.
I'm actually knitting with the one.
This is called Sugar Cookie. I don't know if you can see it. There's some warm biscuit tones in there, and then speckles of purple and pink with a deep elderberry accent. There's more, sorry. I didn't let you play with them.
That's okay.
This is, again, the newest colors on our Echo base. We've got Seashell and Fruit Punch, and again, Elderberry. But these are just a handful I grabbed from the store. There's so many more.
So all you would need is 2 main skeins for the what's pink on this shawl, and then you would alternate the one for the one lace and the other one for the other lace.
Right, but I'm guessing that they already know that because they've
done
come this far. But other things that these could be useful for.
Well, I'm actually testing a pattern. It's not our pattern. I'm trying out a pattern that I found online to see if you could actually use the mismatched sock set to make a hat that's double thick. So inside it, you can turn it inside out, and one side, the outside would be one color and the inside the other, or you flip it around and have it the other way. Yeah, so I'm just almost halfway point, and I want to see how much yarn I've used before I tell people that this is possible with this.
And as the name on the band suggests, mismatched socks is always a great idea, whether you do mittens or heels and toes, the alternating color. But I've had people say that like they just can't knit socks because they'll get one done and then be so bored they don't want to do the second one.
Right.
I've been
well,
there.
It's not boring if you're doing a whole new sock. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
that's just an idea. Farrow patterns. We do a lot of different colors in the yoke, a lot of mosaic knits when we're trying to use our minis in playful ways. 50-gram skeins also work for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we move on so week 5 was supposed to be mindfulness and knitting and hoping that everybody's getting into the swing of things. And then week 6 we were going to talk, this is week 6, we were going to talk about blocking because we should all be sort of on the last leg or near
getting
the
closer
end.
To it.
And blocking the shawl was a bit more, I don't want to say intensive, but like we had to do a bit more work with it because I wanted it wider. I wanted to block it nice and wide. And long.
Because the lace work kind of pulls it together and the chevron. So in order to have it the width that it's supposed to be, then blocking it makes sense. So what you do when you're finished and you've woven in all your ends, we suggest that with our yarn or all fine yarns, you actually use a wool wash and you go in and soak.
We sell soak because the scents are so amazing.
Yeah, it gives you a little, and there's different sizes. So they're both Canadian companies. They're both pH balanced, and neither one of them need to be rinsed out, which is really nice when you're doing a fine washable. So you fill your basin or your sink, put in just a capful of either of the washes, put your item in, just gently squeeze the water through, leave it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, come back, squeeze the water through, take it out. And what we like to do to get it, because you don't want to wring it and stretch it out of shape, so you just squeeze it as best as you can. And then we take a big thirsty beach towel or something, or a bath sheet, and you roll your knitting in it and just squeeze it really hard that way to absorb.
You can walk on it like you're pressing grapes or wine or something. We do that too.
Yeah.
And you squeeze out as much moisture as you can before setting up your mats. Now, for blocking, we use the interlocking mats that are for like
kids' play mats.
Play mats, yeah.
And you can get them pretty much anywhere, right? If the smaller ones you can get too, sometimes even at the dollar store.
Yeah.
But the 2x2, they're 2 feet by 2 feet. So altogether you've actually got 4 feet by 4 feet. And because they come apart, and if you're blocking something like this shawl, then with it being 20 wide but longer than 2 feet or 4 feet, then you put 3 in a row.
Yeah, was it 3 or was it 4?
3.
3, yeah.
I think 3.
So you were,
but you can do.
You were a major help for me for blocking this time.
And
because
so,
what was the trick with this one?
Well, you kind of know where the puzzle piece is kind of fit together on the blocks as a straight line, and you kind of take your one. I do the corners first. So I would pin one corner, and then I know that I want it was 60 inches. So you measure down 60 inches, and it's the same distance from the edge of the block. You put another pin.
I think it's actually, now I think I adjusted the pattern. Mine was 60 inches, but I think on your pattern it says 62, and that's because I found using the 50-gram skeins that you could actually do 7 repeats of the lace, which made, in the first half I didn't do that, I only did 6, which made it longer by 2 inches. Either way, 60 or 62 inches, you're going to want to stretch and measure and pin the corners.
Pin the corner, pin the other corner, and then you measure the width and pin that corner, and then the 4th corner. And then of course you want to, I start with one side and just make it straight, and we actually sell the little T-pins.
They're really helpful.
And the good thing about these blocking mats, which aren't official blocking mats, but you can actually stick a pin in it. You don't have to worry about how you're going to attach it. So I start by going to the middle, and then you kind of break it up. It's just like cutting a pie, right? You cut it into quarters, and then you cut it into smaller pieces after that. And so that's how you pin it as well.
Right. So once you have the length, then you can worry about the width, which is 20 inches across.
Right.
And you smooth it out, and again, pin the corners first. I wanted it perfect. So it took me a little bit longer because the ends do curl under, and the lace does bring it in a bit. You might have noticed that while knitting, that once you jump back to the chevron, it does this sort of wave along the edge, which you can leave if you like. I bet it would be really beautiful, but I wanted to show that it would block nice and wide for a shawl.
Yeah. And if you've really stretched it, like if gently pulling it apart doesn't stretch it enough and the pins are being pulled on a little bit, then you really do need to have a pin a little bit more often so that you don't get the little dips.
Now we sell the Cocoa Knits T-pins, but we also have
Knitter's Pride blocking pins,
which are a little wider, which sometimes are useful.
They're like little combs of pins all attached together. We don't carry those.
No, but we should, shouldn't we?
We can
we'll
look into
it. We'll look into it. If this was not enough of an explanation and you want some more help with blocking, leave a comment or send us a message. Even in the year of adventurous knitting, I bet a lot of people have some helpful tips.
Right. Yes, because we can all help each other, right? Because there are little tricks that we may not know, and depending on the situation, people do different things.
Now, I did use the T-pins to pin down the points on the chevron. I really wanted that to show.
And what I've done to get an edge to be nice and straight before, if there wasn't enough pins, is I've used a damp tea towel and laid it on top so that it doesn't,
yeah, and if it's rolled, or folded in fours, it's heavier.
Yeah.
As well. I know people have used books even to hold it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's tips and tricks. Plenty of different ways to do it. I want to stress to not try for perfectionism. I know, that's strange coming, but mine's a sample and yours is just meant to be loved and or given in love to someone, right? So I don't think you need to be perfect or worry too much about being perfect. And I say that because there is someone who has been knitting along with us who is a relatively new knitter and adventurous, but is so stuck on, I think, being perfect that every time she makes a mistake, she rips back out her work. And
it's really...
If you're watching, I hope you hear this. Stop doing that. It's okay that it's not perfect.
Yeah, believe you me, I don't make perfect things.
No. So if you messed up in your lace section and missed an eyelet or ended up with extra stitches and had to knit two together somewhere because you couldn't figure out where you went wrong, no one's going to notice.
No. Just don't hold still.
But even if you
but no, like I mean, things,
I
even here, hanging here, who would know that there's something not quite right in this lace section?
I know. I keep going like this, trying to make it hang in such a way that you can even see all the lace, and you can't really, can you? From
if
far
there was
away.
an eyelet missing, you would never know.
You'd never know. It's actually funny. I saw a stop motion reel the other day, and somebody had, made a little stuffed frog, and this frog was baking a cake in the kitchen and making the batter, and beautiful stop motion. And I went, wow, knitting a frog like that is a lot of work and probably very hard to do. And then people in the comments were like, oh, I love the crochet frog. And I thought, like, yeah, not only would they not notice if there was a mistake, they don't even know it's knitting, so.
I saw a little frog posted today, and somebody had found sneakers somewhere. It was so cool. He had a little pair of red sneakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
So.
It's just like those chickens.
Chickens?
Yeah, the personal support chickens.
I don't know about that.
Oh, wow, there's some soothing knits out there.
Which reminds me, making little amigurumi frogs or knitted stuffed animals is also a great way to use up your minis, and perfect for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, and it's also a nice way to make up Christmas decorations.
Mm-hmm.
You can knit little stockings or...
Yeah, you can even knit and stuff little hearts for the Christmas tree.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're talking about Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christmas in July. Speaking of which, this is the last and final week of the knit along. So
next week we'd like to have the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So all of you that have worked with our yarn for this project and post that project to Ravelry. Maybe mention on Ravelry that it was our yarn that you used, because you can do a description.
Yeah, it asks you what yarn you used, and you can type it in.
And all the people that do post their projects on Ravelry, having used our yarn, will be entered into the draw for the gift certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, you can choose your prize.
Right. So I will just go on Ravelry, and I'll look up these projects, Reprieve Wrap, Born Trippy, a Seaside Stole, and I'll just look under projects to see everyone who's knit along.
And it's nice to be able to see all the different projects.
Right, and everyone will get a ballot.
Because not everybody shares to the Year of Adventurous Knitting or...
Right. If you're afraid that you'll be overlooked, drop the link to your project in the Year of Adventurous Knitting or post a picture so I know to go find it. But no, I'll be searching them out, and everyone will get a ballot, and then we'll do one of those generated spinner wheels to select a winner. And this time around, we've decided on a gift card.
Yes.
That way, with Christmas in July, Christmas in mind, if you want to give the gift card as a gift, that's an option too.
Or you can buy your Christmas knitting materials.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I think I'm going to do a little reel on how to purchase electronic gift cards through us, because it's really cool on our website. You can do multiple gift cards to multiple people at once. You can do one gift card and have multiple people contribute to it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really.
And there's different pictures, right?
Yeah.
You get to choose whether it's a birthday or a Christmas gift or whatever.
There's different cards, like designs that you get to choose from when you're.
And then those are just electronic. You don't actually get a...
They can be used in store and online, but you don't get the little plastic card. It's all.
You can print your email with the information.
Or just bring it in and show me.
Yeah. Well, if it's a gift.
Right. Yeah.
You can actually just have the gift card emailed to the recipient.
That's
and if it's supposed to be weighted, you're supposed to wait. You don't want to give it to them quite yet. Have it sent to yourself and then send them.
No. For the prize, yes. But online, this is why I was going to do a video. Online, if you want to purchase it in September and you want it to be delivered in December, you get to choose the date it's sent to them.
Oh, well, that's really...
It is really cool. And we're cutting back on plastic. So.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great choice all the way around. And there's always new things. As you know, you see our posts. There's always new colors. And because we've increased the number of wholesale accounts that we now have, the colors are switching over more frequently.
Yep.
And that means that there's actually more colors coming all the time.
There's a color that you were really after. You don't see it on our website. There is a section for our retailers online that links you to all of them. They might have it in stock.
Right. Yeah. Because
I love being
on
able
our
to
website, the colors are still shown as available, even if there's only one skein left. But if you're wanting to make something with more than one skein, and we don't have it all, you can check with the retailers to see if they've got more.
Probably do.
Yeah.
Okay, and on that note, before we sign off, we're going to show you some of the yarn that we did manage to dye even while we weren't feeling very great.
Yeah, a little bit slower. But some of those are not from the new, well, some of them are new, right?
They're all new colors, that's why I shut them off.
I get mixed up, I just keep going. Because there's stuff drying and...
Okay.
So, this was our big, my big accomplishment for this time around. This one's called Sunday Sprinkles, and it was supposed to, I'm hoping that when it's knit up, I really want to knit it up. I'm hoping that it disperses the different colors, is flecks in the more or less creamy background, because Sunday Sprinkles.
I want to lean in a little bit closer. There is flecks of yellow and orange in there as well. I know you see the
green,
pink and the purple. There is green and yellow, and like I said, little bits of orange, and then darker pinks, almost like fuchsia. Yeah, everything but blue sprinkles.
Right.
Yeah, lots of fun.
And that was in honor of, we did it because our favorite ice cream shop here in Pictou is the Thompson's Dairy Bar. It's been around since 1962, and it's changed hands several times. But it looks just like, I don't know if you're from someplace where there's more like larger centers. The old Dairy Queens, the little booth thing, it looks a lot like that.
Okay, it's very retro,
yeah.
And such a cool experience going there. They have something like 60 flavors, and you can combine things, and then they do specialty parfaits. They do like Sunday nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people look forward to the dairy bar opening every year. And so, yeah, we love Kelly from the dairy bar. She also knits, and so we came up with this together, kind of. Other new colors include.
Oh, this one here isn't even banded yet.
But it's on the website because we couldn't hold back. This is called Seafoam. Now, I know Seafoam is actually foamy and white, but this
There's
color...
also a lighter bluey green in there.
Yeah, but this color is known for Seafoam. It's like a greeny, almost teal color, and it's meant to represent the different tones in the water of the ocean. So I'm really loving this. It's a new color for you. You don't get this very often.
No, I don't get that very often. It has to be the right yellow that I put in the indigo, and not too much indigo, but enough. It's
right,
just, it's kind of like the green on the Aurora Borealis.
Not quite, because the
no,
green
it's a different green.
Gets more
It's
limey.
a totally different green because I used a different yellow.
So Aurora Borealis is back in stock, and this one is a little bit moodier. The purples are darker, the blue and the green's darker. It's like a late season Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
These are
well, sometimes the Aurora Borealis is it's not as bright.
No, I know. I think it's lovely, the purple being almost grayish at times. It's really nice. Okay, and then what else we got?
A new batch of Lunenburg, which is quite red as compared to the fuchsia in the
Bring it a little closer
so that's not one that I would necessarily pair.
One is red.
Yeah.
But they are pretty together.
Right. And then this one here is Divination, and it's got the pinks and the purples much more muted, and the fuchsia in it as well. So this one actually could be put together with that one.
Divination, it almost looks like you have beige in there.
Yeah, but beige. I don't.
A little. It went, the way you treated the logwood went a little beige. I'm going to show
Oh, yes. I put in a little bit of a modifier.
We had this colorway a couple years ago now, Divination, so I didn't expect you to pop up with it, but it's fun.
Sometimes I don't look at the recipe book. Sometimes things are not in the recipe book. And sometimes I just think I remember the recipe and come up with a whole new color.
Yep.
Or an old one back again that we didn't think we'd see.
Very true. So we hope that you've enjoyed knitting with us, and I can't wait to see all of your projects. Even if you're not completely finished, do post to your projects on Ravelry. So
yes, because you can put more than one picture, and I think you can add pictures after having initially posted.
Right. So a ballot for joining us and a ballot for being finished, right? So
right.
So definitely post in the project so we see it, and we do look forward to seeing it. I love to see our stuff knit up.
Yeah. And we really enjoy having you knit with us. Sometimes we wish we got more feedback because we're like wondering, where are people? How are they doing? Is everything going fine? Are they liking it?
I'm assuming that if there is not any questions, that things are going swell. And, we did get some feedback early on, like I'm struggling to read my lace or it's difficult. And so we made those videos on reading your knitting, and let's do the lace together. If you, I'm sure you've seen it by now. I knit the lace section and go over it. And yeah, not hearing anything I think is just good news. We're just.
I just hope nobody gave up.
I don't think
anybody did.
Tonight is our maker circle. That's the Zoom social. Starts at 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Hope you can join. The link is on Facebook and on our website under events. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for today.
Thanks for joining us.
Be natural.
Be you.
Bye.
Bye.